Now, after 3.5 years of development, Diablo is back. So you're probably wondering, how does a sequel compare to the original, assuming you haven't already gone out, bought it, and haven't slept since is probably the correct tense would be. Folks, David Brevik, president and co-founder of Blizzard North, as well as lead programmer on Diablo II, is here to tell us what it takes to improve on a classic. Welcome to the Screensavers, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
So you've got a pretty serious, there are games. What did you really start with before Diablo?
I did several other games before Diablo, but Diablo was my first PC game. The idea came from late nights in the Unix lab when I was in college playing a game called Moria, and which was very similar to this, and took that idea and formed and modernized it, put new graphics on it, and made it real time and put it on the internet, and that became Diablo.
Nice. Now, of course, it was hugely successful.
Yeah.
So when you guys decided you were going to write a sequel to it, what were the foremost, or did you sit around a kitchen table and make a list of what you guys wanted to do? Or?
Well, not exactly the kitchen table, but the first one was much more successful than we ever imagined. You know, we tried desperately that, if we could sell 100,000 copies, would be great. And it was so successful that we were able to make a sequel. And so the first thing we did is we went back and looked, what are the things that we felt that we did wrong or we would have liked to add the most? And we went back and narrowed it down to 4 basic things. The first thing being cheating was rampant in Diablo 1, and we really wanted to change that. Second thing is that the characters kind of merged together at the end and weren't really separate, so we wanted to address that. Third thing was movement. It was just too slow. We wanted to run around. And the last thing is that we wanted to make the story more of a part of the game. A lot of it was in the manual last time. This time we want to make it more of a deep world that we're in this time, and instead of having a lot of that as a separate part, and make it a more rich experience.
Nice. So the movies, well, actually, we have one of the movies cutscenes we can go to, and actually, do we want to talk to someone about that, or here it comes, where it goes. The movie.
Yes, this was all done in-house. It's done with a team that's actually down in Irvine, and they do all the cinematics for all of our games. And they really do a fantastic job and work very hard. And we're real proud of the end effort that everybody saw. And it's actually been shown in movie theaters and everything. And
nice.
Did a fantastic job.
Awesome. Well, should we show some folks what the game looks like?
Sure, that sounds good.
In case you haven't seen Leo playing it in between commercial breaks on set. We have new characters. You want to show us some of those? Or?
Okay. Well, the character that we have right now is the Paladin, and he's one of 5 characters that are in the game. There's a Barbarian who's strictly a warrior type, and there's a Paladin who is mainly warrior, but also has the ability to affect other people in his party with some magic spells. And there's a Sorceress, which is pretty much straightforward shooting, fire, and lightning, and things like that, all magic spells. And there's the Necromancer, which is a character that has lots of minions, skeletons, and things like that fight around him and do a lot of the fighting for him, and he commands them, kind of thing.
Got it.
And the last class is the Amazon, which is a bow-fighting spear type character.
Xena comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You actually, now the skill tree, is that a...
Right.
Do you want to explain, what are the hot tips on the skill tree?
Well, the skill tree was designed because, like I was saying, in the first game, a lot of the characters could cast any of the spells. And we really wanted to differentiate each class one from another this time. And we also wanted a lot of replayability. And the way to do that, we came up with this idea of the skills tree, where as you progress, you can choose your different path of how you want to direct your character. And each class of characters has their own set of skills that they can become proficient in. And for instance, the Paladin has defensive auras and offensive auras and strictly combat things. And you can go in and change which tab you want and specialize in certain things, and it eventually opens up more paths as you get points in one. It'll open up, and as you go up in levels, you'll get to distribute points along this tree that'll eventually become the most powerful skills are down at the bottom as you go up in level.
Now, if you choose, you can sort of choose directions. Can you move back and expand in other areas?
Yes, yeah. You can anytime you can go back and choose any of the skills that are above and create new paths. But what this really allows you to do is it allows, like, all the paladins are not the same as all the other paladins in the game. You can become strictly, I'm going to strictly focus in on the defensive things, or I'm strictly going to do combat with this guy. And you can even play the game several times different ways with the same character class.
Nice.
So.
Well, we've noticed on eBay and a lot of other places, a lot of characters are actually up for sale now.
Yes, that's true.
Was that something you guys anticipated? Or?
Well, I think that's becoming more and more of a fad. I don't know if it's really a fad, but maybe it's something here to stay. For some, it's their summer job as a high school kid. But I think that it's something that is interesting and allows people to actually get, earn a living playing games, which is something you would never think of before. But now, people make a living playing games like football. So here comes games.
I like that thought. How about one of the things that Dave Dan wanted me to ask you about? The game is pretty addictive by, he maintains by design. How much of this was intentional? Do you guys sort of want to string players along with the way the levels and the saves are done?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to try and create a sense of you want to keep going, you want to keep playing, and that's my goal as a game designer, is to want you to play the game and have a really good time doing it. And to do that, then the way that we've set the game up, there's a natural ability to roll from one thing to the next and say, oh, I just want to defeat one more monster. I just want to go to town one more time, or use my special new thing just once. And you end up doing it, and it's been an hour, and you're like, oh my God, I can't.
And suddenly it's 4 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. Oh man! So what's going to come up in the expansion pack? What's the features that you guys are adding on there?
The expansion is going to have 2 new character classes, and it's going to have another act to go into, as well as some new BattleNet features, which is our online component of the game. And all of that together will really make it will continue the story of Diablo II, and you'll be able to use your old characters in the expansion, as well as play new characters all the way through the game.
Very nice. Any thoughts on BattleNet before we pull out of here?
Well, BattleNet is the online component of the game, and it's a free service that we provide that you can hook up through the game to play with people all over the world. And there's been some technical difficulties at the beginning, but we've really been working on it, and it's much better than it originally was. And we continue to work on it, and we'll make it as best as possible, and hopefully reward everybody.
Nice. So Leo and Dan are basically not going to sleep all winter either.
Yeah, I hope not.
Oh man, that was awesome. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Folks, that's Dave Brevik, president and co-founder of Blizzard North. We want to thank him for coming in.